Hey guys, it's Liv, Via, Olivia, whatever you identify me as, and this is my podcast, 9 Lives. This basically is going to be a podcast for those who feel like they've lived more lives than they can fucking count. We're going to be diving into the raw, vulnerable side of life and how these different lives create the person you are today. And these lives are fucking infinite. 9 just happen to sound catchy. So let's get into it.
I'm kicking hieroglyphics like Egyptians, cause I'm a nihilist like the Nile is. Get it? Open my eyelids to all these Pontius Pilates who might be stylish but they blind in compliance, wired to their wireless and they...
Basically, a little bit about me. My name is Olivia Mercedes Stabile. I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's a whole story in itself. And I now live in San Diego, where I'm a full-time content creator, and I used to work in a bar completely made out of ice. I worked as a marketing intern. I graduated college with a business degree. But I have also been married to a man, which is what we're going to be talking about today. There are so many different chapters of my life, and I just want to remind you that these chapters, they don't define me. I define them, and I give meaning to them, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without the things that I've gone through, and I overall have no regrets. But with that being said, I am a completely different person than the person I'm going to explain to you in some of these stories, and vulnerability is strength, and that's what I'm going to share with you guys. I got a bowl of cherries, because as you guys know, I love cherries. Love popping cherries. That's a whole thing in itself, which we'll talk about. But, I mean, we could talk about it now. Cherries, to me, symbolize life, symbolize experiences, symbolize trying things for the first time. And when I went through a very eye-opening, life-jarring experience this past year, it made me look at life in a completely different lens and want to experience things more than ever. Whether that mean jumping out of a plane, trying truffle for the first time, or even going to my first ever Pride in New York. These things might seem minuscule to other people, but they are huge in my mind. Trying things for the first time it's like being a little kid again. It's like riding a roller coaster for the very first time, and that thrill, that feeling that comes with it is something that should be taken care of. It's not something that we should just throw away with time, throw away with age and maturity and getting older. And I think that we all lose a big sense of our childhood and who we are internally because of that. And we need to just look for the light in everything in life. It's just what makes the world go round. So cherries are trying things for the first time, and popping a cherry is that action. And yeah, so I love cherries. I love when people tag me in things that have to do with cherries. I truly symbolize cherries with this chapter in my life, this life that I'm going through, 9 lives. But yeah, so we have a bowl of cherries. And I always will have a bowl of cherries. Another thing, I'm sitting in my old childhood room right now. It's painted gray. It was pink. It was pink because I love pink. Everything that I own is pink for some reason. Not sure why, but I'm sitting on the floor of my childhood bedroom right now. This is not exactly the prime location that I wanted to film my first podcast. However, with TikTok being banned, I felt like that I needed to hop on this as soon as possible, and that there was no more time to just sit around and wait. So it doesn't matter where I'm doing this recording. And that goes for the future as well. I want to hold myself to a lower standard for what I want my podcast. And that kind of sounds bad, but no, I just want them to be chill, laid back, sitting on my bed and my cat will be there and we'll just be chilling and talking. And I would love to have guests who come on and we can talk about their multiple lives and the things they've gone through to become the human being that they are today, because at the end of the day, we all have stories. And I want those stories to be heard, because being vulnerable and owning up your own shit is it's just so liberating. We're going to be talking about my marriage. My 2-week marriage with a man. And there is a lot that goes into this story, especially with the chapter of life I was in, the person I was at the time. But we're just going to focus in on this specific story of me being married to a man. And during this time, I was 19 years old. Excuse me. Your girl's gassy. During this time, I was 19 years old. And also during this time, I had run away from home twice already. I was a terrible teenager. I was constantly around the wrong people, constantly doing the wrong things, constantly making the wrong decisions, and just being a bad human being. And during that time, that involved the usage of substances. I met this boy because we went to high school together, and we're going to give him a name. It's going to be Chad. So Chad and I went to high school together, but we did not talk in high school. We were not friends in high school. However, I knew who he was. Our relationship didn't start until 2 years after high school, and he slid into my DMs one day wishing me happy birthday and invited me over to his house. Our first date turned into 5 days. And I know that sounds like a lesbian coded story, but no, this one revolved around drugs. Our first night together, we did drugs together because he had them there waiting for us to do. And during this time, I was doing anything under the sun. And so I took it and we did it together. And we built that bond together, because when you do that kind of thing with somebody that you barely know, you build a bond, and it's not a good one. It's not a good one. So the first date turned into 5 days, and we started dating, I guess you could say, and we would just do substances as our idea of a date night. And my mom and his mom truly didn't understand the severity of the situation until we started to go and hang out with each other at family events, each other's family at family events. The first time that this, started going downhill was when we went to go meet his family up for a family lunch, and we both showed up at in different cars. His entire family was there. We were all sitting there waiting for him to show up. He walks in, and I can tell that something is wrong. And he's not acting the way that we usually would when we were together using the substances that we did use. And something is wrong. His mom even calls him out on it. He denies it, makes an entire scene, leaves the restaurant, ends up totaling his car into a ditch, and obviously having his mom to come pick him up, where she could see that he was messed up. This is what started the end. This was the start of the end, okay? This was when parents started to get aware, and it was obvious. We were kids. We were 19, and we were acting way older than we should have. And so we are together. It's a few nights literally after he crashed his car, and we're at my apartment. It's 2 a.m. at this point, and we had done things, and I want to say what it is, but I don't know if that's allowed on here. It rhymes with pans. So it's 2 a.m. off pans, and we look at each other and we're like, why don't we get married? yeah, why don't we get married? So we Uber to the nearest Vegas chapel, and we pay $200 to get the wedding package. I get a fake wedding dress and a bouquet I was able to take home with me, a wedding tape. The entire place is filled with the most supportive, encouraging workers ever. Like they all want you to get married, which obviously it's their job, but they made it such a happy experience. And I was like, maybe this is a good idea. Yeah, wrong. We wake up the next morning, and what do? We drive to the courthouse, and we get it officialized with a court-ordered marriage license. Yeah, so before it was just a Vegas wedding. Now we're legally married. And what did I do the night before? I texted my mom asking her for my social security number. And I didn't remember that. And I get a text from my mom because I'm at the courthouse and she has my location because I'm 19 years old. And she's like, Liv, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, Mom, I just got married. Literally, I swear to God, I'm not even joking you. That was the start of the end. That was the start of the end. Yeah, no. So I go to my mom. Yeah, no. Wait. Yeah, no. So I go over to Chad's. We're at Chad's now. We're at Chad's. And I show up. We're going to rewind. We're going to rewind that, actually. Okay? So we're married. I have a husband. I'm at my husband's beck and call because he is constantly overdosing on whatever it is he's taking that I don't know, because it's more than what we've already were taking together. Because I wake up in the morning, one of these nights of sleeping together, I wake up in the morning and he's not in bed with me. And so I'm like, where's my husband? And I go to the bathroom. He's laying on the bathroom floor. And there is just, and I'm sorry, trigger warning, throw up everywhere. Everywhere. All over the walls, all over him, all over the toilet, all over everywhere. And I'm shaking him because he's unconscious. And I'm thinking, oh my God, my husband is dead. And I'm sorry I keep saying husband. I just think it's funny. Anyways, he's dead. And he's not. I shake him for like 30 seconds. He wakes up. And he gaslights me. What? What happened? Well, I don't even know. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just take, bro? What are you on, bro? And he's just like, nothing. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I went to sleep and I woke up and I'm here. And I'm just like, okay. Well, maybe it's just, it's just the remnants of what we did the few nights before, whatever. But no, this man was definitely taking really, really bad things behind my back. And I'm not going to say them on here. I don't know if I even can, but really, really worse things than what we were doing together. And it was causing him to overdose multiple times. So after we get married, that happened. And then a few days goes by. I come into his apartment and he's literally overdosed again. On the ground. Middle of the living room. And I'm like, oh my God. Grabbing him, shaking him. He's awake. And I'm like, dude, you need to literally tell me what is going on right now. Like, this is not okay. I can't keep finding you like this. This is traumatic to me. And being with you as your partner, your person, like, I deserve to know what is going on. He continued to tell me nothing was wrong. Nothing happened. His mom calls. I literally tell Chad, listen, Chad, if you're going to answer the phone, Chad, you need to be normal, Chad. I swear to God. I swear to God. Because at this point, he totaled his car. Our parents are not stupid. And, like, they're on high alert. So she was calling in to check on him. Answers the phone. completely slurs everything. He's just not even speaking normally. She immediately is like, put Liv on the phone. Puts me on the phone. She tells me, you need to leave before I get there or things are going to be ugly. What did I do? I did not leave until she got there. And things, they did in fact get ugly. Let's just say I left thinking that I was never going to see the love of my life again. My husband, literally whatever the fuck was going on in my head. I don't know. But I left knowing basically that my life was about to be over. Because now his mom knew. My mom was going to know. And she already knew about us getting married, obviously. But now it was just really going to be over, right? So at this point, I was already in a very, very dark place in my life. Obviously, getting married at 19 years old doesn't really hinder a healthy livelihood. But I was in a very, very dark place. And I did things to myself because I didn't care whether or not I ended up okay. And that's just the truth of it all. So when I was driving back from Chad's place after the whole thing got very, very ugly, I decided that I didn't want to be here anymore. And so what did I do? I drove my mom's car straight into a wall going 45 miles per hour. Nothing happened to me. And I truly believe there was an angel with me that day because, dude, I just bounced off it like nothing happened. Totaled my mom's car completely, and also ran into a tree and the wall. But I didn't have a single injury, a single thing wrong with me. I literally was like, oh, fuck. And dude, honestly, probably one of the worst decisions that I ever made, but I don't regret it because it got me the help needed. And where that falls into is, I obviously, couldn't drive anywhere. A girl pulled over right behind me who saw the entire thing. She came over to me and asked me if I was okay, that she called the cops and, just trying to keep me calm. And I thanked her for being there and just being such a nice human being throughout that situation because she really didn't have to pull over. And the cops came. I was able to just play it off like I dropped something and I was going to pick it up and just turn the wheel completely. And because my mom pulled up and it was just, I don't know, such a fast situation, they let me go with my mom. And my mom took me back home to the apartment that I was staying in at the time. And I just remember sleeping in her arms and crying as hard as I fucking possibly could. And I didn't sleep at all. My mom didn't sleep at all because obviously she knew. And I woke up the next morning with all four of my parents, my mom, my stepdad, my stepmom. Wait, did I already say it? Hold on. My mom, my dad, my stepmom, my stepdad, all sitting there basically telling me that they spoke to Chad's mom. They know everything and that I need to get help. At this point, I am screaming at the top of my lungs that I don't want to be here anymore, that I just want to disappear, and just all of the worst things that a parent could ever hear for their child to say. I then get taken from my apartment to a behavioral institution, which my mom and I actually just drove by yesterday and bawled our eyes out crying over because of how far I've come as a human being and as a daughter, and just the work that I have put in has shown so much over the course of these past few years, and I'm just so grateful for the support system that I was given, truly. But besides the fact, I went to this behavioral institution, which to where I was admitted for 5 days, and being in there truly changed my life. Like, I'm not even joking with you when I say changed my life. There was a man named James who could not walk, and he was in a wheelchair, and the only reason why he was in there was because he got kicked out of his apartment for credit card fraud and had nowhere to live, and he told someone on the side of the street that he was going to jump off a bridge, and therefore they put him in the institution just so that he could have somewhere to sleep and something to eat. And that woke me the fuck up, because why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself and my family? The whole onboarding thing of it all too. And I know this is a completely different story of being married, but it all kind of ties into each other. Honestly, I feel like I could give you the mental health institution stories later, just of like what I went through being in there. It was crazy. Let's just say there is tea, because I went into probably one of the worst ones in Las Vegas, like really bad, really bad. And I think it was just because of how emergent my situation was. But I saw some things in there, including my roommate, that made me wake the fuck up. Let's just say I woke the fuck up, and I got out of there, and I went through IOP, rehab, therapy, drug tests, multiple jobs at the same time, and changed the overall story of my life. And I'm very proud of myself for that. But yeah, after I got out of the mental institution, which we will talk about in a later story or in a later episode. Whoa, that was a good one. But as soon as I got out of that mental institution, I came into contact with Chad, who I then realized was also getting treatment and getting the help needed to become a better human. We came to terms with the fact that getting married was not the best decision on both parts. And our parents obviously did not support it whatsoever. So we went and we got it annulled, because according to getting a marriage annulled, there needs to be a few qualifications, or there are a few reasons that you can qualify for to get it annulled. And one of them was being under the influence. We were in fact under the influence. So what did we do? Get it annulled. And we went to a notary office with his mom, my mom, and both of us there, of course, and signed to get the marriage annulled. So I guess you could say I have an ex-husband. And we were cool. Like, when we went through our separate forms of therapy and rehab, we kept in contact with each other, because I truly was so hopeful for his success, and I wanted him to come out on top out of everything that we went through together, because it was a really dark time for the both of us, and we were getting help at the same time, and I wanted to see that path for him go upwards, of course. And we kept in contact for a few months and it's crazy, because I sound crazy when I say this, but I literally dreamt him blocking me, and I was right. Like, we were cool, we were friends, we were long sober at this point. It was probably over a year or two of us just going our own different paths and living life separately, but still being mutuals online. And I had a dream that he blocked me, and I woke up and I literally went to go text him, and I was blocked. And to this day, I don't know why. I don't really care to know why. I probably can figure out why if I really did think about it. But at the same time, I can respect that decision without having to understand the reasoning behind it. And I respect him as a human being, for laying down that foundation in my life to the person I am today, because truly I don't think that I would be the person I am today without going through these things, without marrying him and then it turning into me having to get help and truly changing the path of what I was on to a human being. And I have no regrets. I'll never have one, never will, never have. All of these lives make up me, and I truly am just so thankful for every version of myself because I love me. And yeah, basically that is just one story that I have for you guys. There are so many fucking stories I have to tell you, and it's a long plot that I have for you. Goes all the way back from wee little Liv, living in Las Vegas, walking down the Las Vegas streets, getting handed cards with titties on them. But we'll get into that another time. Anyways, I'm gonna finish my bowl of cherries. But I love you guys, and next time, who knows where we'll be filming this thing, but that's about it. Love you.